Happy 45th anniversary of Halloween, everybody. Yes, today is officially the 45th anniversary. Although it did premiere on the 24th in Kansas City, today is technically the anniversary of Halloween. And here we are doing Halloween 2018 Book Club, episode number 3, chapters 21 through 30. And so I hope you guys are happy to be here. I hope you guys are celebrating because it's a big day for us Halloween fans. I'll be celebrating after this. I'll be setting up my backyard screen and watching the OG, have a couple of beers with my neighbor, and celebrating 45 years of the film that's pretty much defined everything I've been doing for the past 43 years. So, but this episode is 2018. Let's see, our good buddy Ryan's in the chat. Yeah, thankfully, this line was not in the novelization. John Passarella definitely was smart enough not to use that stupid line. I think that was probably something that David Gordon Green probably just came up with on set. Remember being in the theater thinking to myself, did he just say he had a stick and sleeve? So yeah, exactly. There was no reason for a cheap joke like that. I mean, you want to say, oh crap, I got freaking peanut butter on my pants. Whatever, yeah. Even that's not supposed to be funny, but it didn't belong. It was just, it did. I agree. Bad. Probably one of the worst lines in the trilogy, if not the franchise, next to Trick or Treat, motherfucker. You know? Myers in baggy ass overalls. Let's not even go down there. Go watch my What If for Resurrection. And there was some helpful hints in there for that film. But tonight, yeah, wanted to get started. Joe and Brett are running late. Yeah, they have things going on. They're also an hour behind me, so it's easier for me to do this at 8 o'clock. But they got shit going on around 7 o'clock, so they'll pop on when they can. But I want to get started because, like I said, I'm going to set up the screen in my backyard, relax, and celebrate the 25th anniversary of Halloween and watch it outside my yard. It's a beautiful full night here in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's about 55 degrees, so perfect weather to sit outside and watch Halloween. So let's get started with chapter 21. Let's see. Hey, Byron, what's up? What's going on? You said the rest of it. Oh, okay, I have to check it. I'll check it out after this. I thought I heard my phone's charging. For some reason, it was dying. I heard it beeping over there, so it's probably you. Yeah, I'll check it out when I'm done. Yep, that's just, I heard it going off before. I didn't know what it was. It's on the other side of the room, charging my phone. Cool. Yeah, definitely have to check it out. Look forward to reading the rest of it when we're done. All right, so let's do chapter 21, which I am calling "The Shape Kills Again." So we had left off. Chapter 20 was basically left us off right where Karen kicks Laurie out of the house. The scene where she knows the bus crash has happened, and she goes over to Karen, and Karen comes home, gets a little creeped out by the quietness, and then Ray comes in, and then she comes and goes, bang, you're dead. And that whole scene plays out because she's got a gun. Ray's pissed that she's brandishing a gun in his home, and Karen flips out and kicks her out. So that's basically where we left off. So now chapter 21, the shape kills, he's going to kill again. The Ghost, what's up, man? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a bit. Just got done with Kills, the movie. Oh, nice. Oh, what, the novelization? Yeah, the novelization, yeah, we'll be starting that in a couple weeks because one more episode after this. So looking forward to that. All right, so basically this is the scene. It's the scene is setting of all the trick-or-treaters. A child spills his bag of candy, and he's scooping it all up and stands up, and who's he see in front of him? Myers. So it plays a little differently than the film where the kid walks into Myers. This, he gets up and sees Myers standing over him. So he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. And he was thinking to himself, I thought this was a parent, but wondering why he was in a costume. And he apologizes just like the film, and then he runs off with his friends. So it's just a little weird where he didn't bump into him. It was sort of like the scene where Lonnie looks up and sees Myers in the flashback in Kills. Oh, you watched the movie? Oh, yeah. Kills. Yeah, I don't want to go too far to Kills. Kills, I like it. I'm just not a fan of the hospital stuff. It just takes me out of the film. The first act and the third act, fantastic. The flashback, amazing. The hospital, it kind of just takes me out of it. Most of the hospital. I mean, there's scenes where it's okay. Scenes with Laurie and Hawkins, I can sort of get into, but the rest of it, ugh. But so yeah, so this is the scene where Myers bumps into the kid in the film, but here it's just slightly different. So now, so Michael sees the woman walking from the tool shed, just like in the film. He looks down, he sees the one with the curlers in the hair, can't leave this tool shed. She went out to get something. I believe it was a knife or something. So she comes back in. Did I write down what it was? Yeah, I didn't write down what it was. Maybe it was a knife or something. And then that's when you see Myers, that long tracking shot of him walking along the side of the house, which is amazing. He gets the hammer from the tool shed, walks in, just like the film. Michael grabs the hammer, walks toward the back of the house. So she's pouring water over a frozen. See, this is you don't see because it's off camera. She's pouring water over a frozen chicken to thaw for dinner for her husband Ralph. It's a little bit more backstory. And everybody's always wondering why. Everybody's like, "Oh, thank God Myers didn't kill the baby in the crib." You read the novelization, you find out she's babysitting her friend Kate's baby girl. So it's a baby girl, and it's not even her kid. So you find that out a little bit more backstory because it's not mentioned in the film. So she makes a ham and Swiss sandwich. Michael beats her to death, grabs the knife, just like in the film. He leaves, and he sees the doctor and the nurse, which all plays the same, where you see Carmela McNeil, and I forget what the other actor's name is. Pretty much plays the same. Hold on one second. Byron says, hospital scenes with Evil Dice Night stuff brought the film down for me. It was my third favorite. Now it's my fifth favorite. Yeah, that's the part that just takes me out. The whole hospital, it just really takes me out. Oh, really does. Flip the page over. All right, the nurse sees Myers staring and says hello before they drive off. So she actually, in the novelization, you do see her looking at Myers in 2018, the film. They're worried, oh, where's my keys? With my stethoscope, that whole scene plays out. So she does see him standing there and just says hello because he's just standing there staring. So she doesn't understand it, not thinking anything of it. Hold on one second. That's why it's so dark here. Hold on. Like, I can't see anything. Usually I have lights on. And I'm like wondering why I'm struggling to see what the hell I'm looking at here. There we go. Now I can see. Woohoo. So the nurse. Oh, I'm reading from the wrong side. That's why, aren't I? Hold on one second. I lost my. Okay, so the nurse sees. So now, when he turns and looks at the girl inside that's handing out candy to the trick or treaters, the one he's going to stab in the neck, so to speak. So in here, her name is Andrea Wagner, and she's handing out candy to the kids, and she has a daughter named. Was it McLaren? Oh, she's handing out candy to the McLaren kids. So they just give a little backstory on all the stuff that's there, filler stuff that they put in novelizations that you don't need in the film. So she turned the light out because she's out of candy. The phone rings and it's her friend Sally, just like in the film. She gets on the phone with Sally. But here she does notice Myers outside and thinking it was a teen in costume. So she sees him looking out in the window off to the side, and she's just thinking, oh, it's some kid in a costume, like a tall kid, like a teen. So Myers comes in while she's still on the phone. She turns around and sees him before he slices her throat. So now this is a little different than the film, because in the film, she gets off the phone, she comes to the front to close the blinds, and then you see Myers come from behind. He bangs her head and then sticks a knife through her neck. Here, she's still on the phone. He startles her because she turns around and sees him, and he slices her neck. Why it's different, I have no clue. Maybe this plays out a little bit different. Maybe a little hard to put that to paper. So Michael walks out the front door, just like in the film, and it flashes to Sartain waking up and remembering that the boy shot him, remembering Michael killing the guard on the bus. So now it just flashes, all of a sudden you see Sartain wake up and he's remembering everything. Like, oh my God, all this shit just happened. I was shot by a little kid and all that other stuff. So it flashes to there. And this is where chapter 21 ends. So it just leaves it with Sartain waking up. So that's chapter 21. So chapter 22, I'm calling The Exquisite Corpse Dance. So for those that didn't read the novelization, that is the name of the dance that Allison and Cameron go to, the costume dance at the high school. So Allison and Cameron and Oscar are outside the high school taking pictures at the Exquisite Corpse Dance. They were late to the party due to Oscar's costume change, because he was going to be something different. Then he decided to go as a horny devil because, he's a sleazeball. Just a lot of dialogue between Allison busting Cameron's chops because he's dressed as a woman. So she's just busting his chops a little bit about it. The Grim Reaper is at the door, welcomes them to the party, and he's calling it the dance of death. Little foreshadowing. So Oscar starts taking photos of Allison and Cameron, just like in the film, like where they're posing and shit. That scene plays out. Oscar has a 6-pack of beer and a flask of gin. So that's what was apparently in that flask that they were getting drunk on. That's a rough drunk too, gin. Whew. Oscar pulls Cameron away to go get his stash and to get a little tipsy. And that's actually how chapter 22 ends. So it's basically just them arriving, the beginning part of the exquisite corpse dance where they're hanging out. See what's he startles her. Wow, that's a deal different than what we saw on the screen. I'm curious if they thought about filming that scene just like how the novel. Yeah, it is kind of cool. I think it would have been cool. Although I get it, well, I get why there's this way in the novelization versus the film, but they should have did it like you said in the film because it really harkens back more to Alice in Halloween 2, because this was this was an homage to the scene where Alice gets killed. And what happened? She drops the phone, and you can still hear Sally saying Alice, because she's startled. So probably would have played out better, Byron. I think it would have, because it would have been more of an homage to Alice's death in H2. So chapter 23. Oh no, I didn't change my banner. What am I calling it? I did this the other day. I don't remember. Chapter 23 is Cameron and Oscar, the drunks. You know where this is going, because they were a little too tipsy at this party. So Allison is uncomfortable by herself without Cameron because she's very self-conscious, and she was still upset that Vicky went to babysit rather than be there with her, because that's she doesn't like to be in situations like this by herself. So here she is waiting for Cameron to come back, and he's off with Oscar getting drunk, and she's not aware of this yet. She just he just ran. Oscar pulled him away and said, "I'll be back." So she's like dancing with some people on the dance, some girls that she knows on the dance floor. So Allison is taking all the music in and the spooky decorations. She's dancing, and she sees Kim dressed as a tiger, which they're very skimpy. Kim is the girl that Cameron's going to end up kissing. Well, she's going to kiss him, rather. So that's her name, Kim. So Cameron and Oscar are clearly buzzed at this point. They're back. Oscar heads off dancing by himself, acting like an idiot, just like sort of like in the film that's still there in the background. And Cameron and Allison dance together. So Vicky calls, and Allison walks off the dance floor, just like the film, where he gets all pissed off. Like, what's the big deal? She's answering her phone. I never understood why he had such a bug up his ass. Yeah, sometimes it's annoying when the phone rings a little bit too much, but whatever. It's no reason to cause a big fight. So Oscar's making tongue gestures as he walks towards Allison and heading towards the men's room, and she's like, because he's such a sleazeball. So call waiting. She just like the film, she sees the call waiting, and who's calling? Lori. Says grandma's calling, and then she ignores it because she's trying. That's when they're trying to get in touch with her because of to get her off the street and get her safe. She ignores it because she's talking to Vicky. So she continues to just talk to Vicky. So actually, that's how that chapter 23. These chapters, there's a lot of chapters in this book. There's 40 of them, and a lot of them aren't all that long, so they go by pretty quick. So that's actually chapter 23. So it basically leaves with her talking to Vicky on the phone, and while Cameron's on the dance floor getting ready to be a real douchebag. So that is chapter 23. So chapter 24 is Vicky and Julian. So I'm sure you all know where this is going. All right. So Vicky and Julian are watching TV. They're watching Repo Man, one of my favorite films of the 80s. I love Repo Man. It's such a pisser. So Vicky's thinking, she's talking to Allison. Basically the same scene plays out where she's talking to Allison. They talk about the Alakazam, talking about getting high later, smoking weed, and Julian's busting her balls. I know what you're talking about, and I should be in bed instead of cutting my nasty ass toenails and all that shit. So the same conversations as the film. So Vicky and Julian. So eventually she says, you need to go to bed. You want to be a good boy, go to bed. So eventually, Vicky and Julian go upstairs. So this is different than the film because here you just see her tucking him in. So in the novelization, Julian runs and hides in his room. Vicky's looking for him, telling him to brush his teeth and use the bathroom. So he's hiding, just like playing hide and seek with her. So Julian jumps out from the far side of his bed and scares her, and she's pissed because she just scared her. Julian starts playing with a toy, asking Vicky if she would ever jump out of a plane, which I don't understand where this was going. So they're having this conversation, I guess, asking her, like, would you ever do anything that crazy? So he says, would you ever jump out of a plane? And she said she would try it because she knows she's, I guess, adventurous. So eventually the conversation ends and she gets Julian to go off and brush his teeth, use the bathroom, and gets into bed. So she's tucking him in. Of course, he says, can you leave the door open a crack? And just as she's about to walk out of the room, that in the film, the conversation is like, you know what, I lied. You are my favorite kid. And he says, yeah, I like you too. They have that nice little exchange. Here it's different. Here she goes, as she's walking out, and she goes, oh, and by the way, Command Shift End, incognito mode for your browsing. Because if you remember, when he says, I'm going to tell on you, you're not supposed to be, that's a breaking the rules. And then she says, well, I'm going to tell your parents about your browsing history. So she's basically telling him how to get rid of his browsing history. So instead that's the conversation rather than the little exchange in the film. And that's chapter 24. Look at that, flying through these. Look at that. Chapter 24 is Dave and Tate arrive. All right, so you know this scene. So Vicky is headed towards the kitchen to do the dishes. Now this was a cool scene in the film. So she's doing the dishes. You see her wiping and drying off that big ass knife, and you know they're focusing on that knife for a reason because it's basically going to be the one that kills Dave later on. And then you see that cool visual looking out the window with the laundry hanging, and you're sitting there trying to see if Michael is in it, which I swear I saw last time I watched it on the far right. So she's doing the dishes. She pulls the trash bag and she goes outside. And then this is slightly different. So she's outside walking along the house to put the garbage out rather than just by the back steps. And then Dave comes up and scares her. So it's just a little different position than her just walking out the two steps like you see in the film. So Dave's dressed as a farmhand, which you see in the film, with the horse, with the little horse, whose name is Tate, and jack-o'-lantern. So they go inside. Same conversation as in the film, and Dave shows her the 10/31/18 tattoo. Remember, he had the tattoo on his arm because he thought that was the night he was actually going to lose his virginity. He thought he was going to get some. We know how that turned out. So they go inside. Same conversations. What's going on? So they move to the couch, just like the film, and then flashes to Lori driving around. So she's driving around in Haddonfield. She's listening to the police scanner. She's waiting to hear if anything pops up, and of course, it does eventually. And she's reminiscing, in her head, like thinking about the past. 40 years has gone by. It's built all up to this. I have to end this before anybody gets hurt. Any more people get hurt, rather, I should say, because she already knows about the two podcasters because she was there. You can't kill the boogeyman, she thinks to herself, but she's going to try, because she remembers those words that Tommy said 40 years ago that night. And then she's telling herself, you don't know it, Michael, but I'm coming for you. She's saying to herself because she's like, this needs to end. So she's seeing all the trick-or-treaters out and saying to herself, beware, kids, the boogeyman is back. She starts telling them. And of course, they probably think she's the crazy lady in town. But she, for all intents and purposes, she was basically labeled as the crazy person in town. So flashback, but now we're flashing back to Vicky and Dave, and they're on the couch fooling around. Which in the novelization, Dave got a lot further. If you guys know what I mean, he got a lot further than he did in the film. So let's see what I wrote down here because that I do remember. So Vicky and Dave are making out and filling each other up. Dave gets into her panties, so he actually got some bush in his hands. So you didn't see it in the film now. And suddenly Vicky says stop because, like the film, she heard something. She's like, "What did you hear that?" So she heard something. I mean, good ears. You don't even really hear it in the film. I maybe have to go back and listen. But no, she heard something and stopped him. So he's still, and it's the novelization is making a point that his hands are still in her pants because he's like, I'm not stopping until she says, get your hand out of my pants. Suddenly Vicky says, stop. Yep. Okay. So, and same thing in the film. He's like, oh, it's probably just a kid. He's probably just taking a dump. So Julian startles Dave because she says, can you go take a look? and just like the film. And he goes, and same scene where he turns the corner by the steps, and Julian comes down, scares the shit out of Dave. And Julian says he saw someone. He said the boogeyman, basically the same shit as you see in the film. So the boogeyman is in his house. I saw him upstairs. I heard his breathing. So, and that's basically how chapter 25 ends. So it's ending with Julian seeing Myers coming down to let them know, and scaring the shit out of Dave in the process. So let's see, what's Byron saying? I wish we got more of Vicky and Dave in the film compared to what we actually. Yeah, because I did like both their characters. You're right. I did like Vicky. I thought she was cool. She would have been a good final girl. The way she was actually really good. I liked her. And Dave was good. He was the goofball, but he was fun. So yeah, wish there would have been more to that. Chapter 25. That's it for chapter 25. We're hitting chapter 26. The boogeyman is in Julian's house. All right, so chapter 26. Boogeyman is in Julian's house. So now we're still in Julian's house, just the way it ended up chapter 25. So chapter 26, Vicky's decided to check out upstairs to calm Julian down. Say, look, I'll protect you. Basically, a lot of the same stuff there. The only thing that's not in here that I love the line when she says, I'll go check. And she goes, no, send Dave. That's not in here, but I love that line. It's like, no, man, don't get yourself killed. Send Dave. Let him get killed. Love that line. So Vicky mouths 10 minutes to Dave. So like he's looking in, like, of course, he's all horned up and they want to get back to business. So as she's walking with Julian, she turns around and says, like, give me 10 minutes and we'll get back to what we were doing. She'll put him back to bed and they can go on with their night. So Dave sees, so Dave's walking through the house. He's looking around. He looks outside. He's looking through a window and he sees light in the garage. And as he goes outside, to light a joint, because he figures I'm not going to light a joint in the house because it's going to smell. The kid will smell it, and the parents, of course, not. So you don't do that. Not like the 70s where Linda and Bob were smoking inside the Wallace's parent house, in the bed, because back then everybody smoked, and my parents smoked in bed, for Christ's sake. It's amazing they never burned the house down. So this is a little bit different. You'll smell it right away. Back then everybody was so desensitized. I grew up in a house with heavy smokers, and I was so used to the smell. Where did I leave off? Okay, so they go upstairs. Dave has since gone outside. He went outside to the garage to smoke a doob. So Julian is telling Vicky he was in the hallway watching him. He heard him breathing. He's seen his face. Vicky goes into the room and tells Julian it's all clear. She doesn't do that little gag like in the film, like where she's pretending she's talking to somebody. She's like, get out, get out, get out. And then she jumps out and scares him. Doesn't do that here. So I'll flash back to Dave. So now Dave's in the garage and he's smoking some weed. I know, smoking some weed, some Alakazam. And he sees the Harley and wonders whose it is. If, which one of the Morrisons is driving this. He's imagining the Morrisons on it, because I guess he must apparently know the couple. And it's all covered in dust. And he's like, wow, they haven't ridden in a while. So he's intrigued. So Vicky finally gets Julian into bed and calm. So we're back up in Julian's bedroom. And then he asks for the closet light on. So a little bit different than the film, whereas the closet light was already on in the film and the door was open. In the film, he says, can you close the closet? And that's when she comes across Myers. Here, he just asks for the closet light on. So Vicky turns the light on in the closet, and Michael's there, standing there. So it lights up and sees him, rather than opening the door and him slashing. So he grabs her by the throat, a little bit different, grabs her by the throat and slices her left shoulder and forearm. So it's a little bit different than the film. Julian gets up and runs. Vicky fights back, just like hits him with the chair, tries to throw stuff at him. Dave, now we're flashing back to Dave. Dave's starting a Harley and he's smoking away, just like in the film. And then he hears something, just like he heard screaming, just like in the film. Of course, he dumps the bike on the ground like a jackass. And then Vicky slips just like the film. Julian runs into Dave running, all this plays out the same. So she slips and she's holding on. Then you see Julian running out through the house, comes across Dave and says, Dave, don't go up there. You're going to get yourself killed. And then the chapter ends up with Dave grabbing the knife, going, I got to go. He's like, Vicky, because he's going to go save her or see what's up and help her. So it ends with him grabbing that knife and heading upstairs. So that's how chapter 26 ends. So there's a couple of these chapters have some subtle differences. Nothing dramatic, just scenes playing a little slightly different, and really no. I know when we get to the chapter, I'll remember it. There's really no cut scenes; they're just different scenes. And there, so I'm going to take a quick drink of my diet poison. No beer tonight. Actually, I'll probably have a beer or two while I'm watching Halloween. So that is chapter 26. So chapter 27, I'm calling Cameron's a jerk and Dave to the rescue. All right. So now we're chapter 27. So now we're flashing back. Now we're back at the exquisite corpse dance. So Allison is dancing with some friends, just as before, and she's watching the drunk Oscar trying to eat a pickle with a mask on. So okay, so some additional stuff would have been cool to see because that would have been funny. Because Oscar's all banged up, he's got a mask, he's trying to eat a pickle. That would have been funny to say. And of course her friends are asking, "Are you here with him?" Because they know he's drunk, they know he's a creep, and and she's like, "No, I came here with Cameron." Now this is a different scene, yeah. So not necessarily a cut scene because I don't think this was ever filmed, so it's just a different build up to what's going to happen. So she says, "No, I'm not with him. I'm with Cameron." And then and the girl's name is Casey. So Casey says, "You mean Cameron, the one chatting it up over there with Kim?" So whereas in the film, she gets off the phone and she sees Cameron and Kim. Here she's dancing with some friends, and the girl is saying, "You mean the Cameron that's over there, getting close to Kim?" Because that's the girl's name that's in the tiger outfit in the film, Kim. And she actually appears in Ends. Wait till we get to the Ends novelization. She reappears. So that's how she sees Cameron and Kim, the other girl. Wish we would have. Too bad we didn't get to see Dave's death. That would have been cool because when we get to describing a lot of it, there's a lot of description of his death in here. It would have been cool if they did film. I don't know if they ever filmed it. It's definitely not one of the deleted scenes that I've seen, but it would have been cool. Yeah, very Bobbish. Obviously, it's an homage to Bob. So Allison sees they're just talking. So she's like, "Well, I'm not thinking anything of it. Maybe they have a class together. Maybe they're friends." So they're just chatting away. So she doesn't think anything of it. She's not like jealous or anything. And then Kim leans in and kisses Cameron on the neck. And she's like, "Okay, like what the fuck was that? That's a little different." So Cameron's smiling, and then he looks up and sees Allison watching. He's like, smiling like, then he's like, "Yeah, because you're fucking busted." So Cameron pulls away, calling for Allison to come to her, to come over, and he whispers to Kim. He whispers to Kim, which we don't understand. I guess he said like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble," and he takes a sip from his flask and then heads towards Allison. And then he says to Allison, "I just need a kiss from you." He says, "Looks like you just got one, from Kim. What the fuck was that all about?" So, and he's like, "Can we not do this here? Let's walk over to the concession stand and just have a conversation." So that's when they end up over at a concession stand. So the conversation takes place pretty much the same about the phone. The phone goes off. He grabs it, throws it into the big bowl of nacho cheese. He's like a complete fucking tool. And that's how then we flash away from the dance, and now we go back to Dave. So this is where it gets good, Byron. So Dave goes upstairs to look for Vicky, and he's calling for her. No answer. Dave sees blood on the hallway floor when he's upstairs, and he turns and he sees Michael, who lifts him up off the floor, and then drops him down the fucking stairs. Well, they fight a little bit. No, they fight a little bit, and then Michael pushes him down the stairs because I knew he went down the stairs. So they scuffle a little bit after Michael grabs him by the neck, and then Michael eventually I guess they were at the top of the stairs and just push him down the stairs. Dave is, he falls down the stairs, and he makes a note that he was doing everything he could to make sure he held onto the knife. He didn't let the knife go because he knew that was something he was going to need to protect himself. So Dave is dazed. He's trying to find the knife because I guess it's right near him, but he held on to it most of the way down. And Dave gets to his feet just as Michael grabs him by the arm and he twists it, like breaking it. They move into the living room, and Michael takes the knife from Dave. So because he overpowers him. And then that's how chapter 27 ends. So it leaves you right there. It doesn't leave you with his death yet. So we're flashing to chapter 28, which I'm calling The Shape Appears to Lori. Dave fighting is a missed opportunity. Yeah, the way it plays out and the way I'm saying it, yeah, that would have been, it would have been a good, I mean, sometimes off-screen deaths are kind of cool, but the way this one is written in here, it would have been cool if they put it to screen. Definitely. So chapter 28, The Shape Appears to Lori. Excuse me. So Lori's driving around looking for Myers. Just flashes back basically the same scene as before, where she was driving around telling everybody to get off the street. She's listening to the police scanner, waiting to hear if anything comes through. And she's saying to herself, she's thinking to herself, I'm hoping to see him and hit and shoot. Basically what Hawkins does later, because she sees him walking around, she's just going to gun it and lay him out, and then get out and put a bullet in his head, sort of like Hawkins tried to do until Sartain fucked it all up. So she hears on the police scanner the call to check out Julian's house on Meridian Ave. It doesn't say Julian's house. It says like 3 something Meridian Ave, which those of you who have visited the Halloween sites know that's the cross street by the Myers house in South Pasadena, Meridian Ave. It's actually what's on the street right now. The address of it. The address would be what is it, 1000 Meridian Ave for Myers house? I think it's something like that. And it's also where the Nichols Hardware store is on Meridian Ave. So Hawkins shows up and heads inside. So now we're flashing to Hawkins, because you see in the film Hawkins pulls up and he gets out and goes to investigate it, just like in the film. You know, anybody here? Let's just be self be known. It's the Haddonfield Sheriff's Department. You know, he's investigating, and he sees. So now he, of course, he walks upstairs. He sees the blood, and he sees the sheet, the sheet that Myers set up, with like the ghost sheet, and he's wondering like why the jack-o'-lantern is in the fish tank and everything. Like, what the fuck happened here? So then, of course, he lifts it up and he sees Vicky all bloodied and killed. Then you see Lori pull up, just like the film, and she gets out. She sees Hawkins in the one window, so she does see him, just like the film. And she looks over and she sees Myers in the reflection, which she doesn't realize until she shoots and realizes she just shot a mirror. So it plays the same. Yeah, of course, she does get out, tells everybody to get off the street, get out, just like in the film. She shoots, hitting the mirror. Hawkins sees Myers, just like the film, and yells, "Hey, Michael!" Takes a couple of shots, chases him, goes out just like the film. And on the way out is when he sees Dave stuck to the wall. So Hawkins sees the 10/31/18 tattoo and is curious, what the fuck? Why is the tattoo there? One second. I want to make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, so Lori sees and then Michael obviously sees the scene where she's walking around the house and Myers had just walked out, and then shoots him from behind, hits him in the left shoulder. Plays the same. What's that, Ryan? Why is it not showing? Okay, there it goes. Even though they ruined it by showing it in the trailer, when Lori sees Michael in the mirror upstairs, it was a badass shot, and it was cool, very, very creative. I give him credit, because yeah, she could easily just shot him, but it was kind of cool that it was a mirror. That was a pretty clever thing, I thought. Because if you look, she shot him like right in the head, because she was, she'd been practicing and shooting for 40 years. She better get a headshot. Okay, so she's since shot Myers in the left shoulder. And that's how it ends. Yeah, so that's how chapter 28 ends. It ends with Myers getting shot in the left shoulder. So actually, I thought there was more to Dave's death, but I think it was just as he grabs a knife, he plunged it into him. It just like ended there, because obviously it was being described to what Dave was feeling at the end of that in the chapter. So just as he's getting stabbed, it just like stops, because now he's since dead. So, and stuck to the wall, like you see in the film, would have been great. Yeah, that would have been great if they put that to film. All right, so that's chapter 28. Let's go to chapter 29. Lori meets the new Loomis. All right, and we all know who the new Loomis is. All right, for better or for worse. All right, so now with chapter 29, so just like the film, after she shoots Michael and she's still looking, Hawkins comes up from behind, startles Lori. She swings and hits him, of course. So that all plays the same. And Lori says, "Look, I just shot him." And Hawkins tells her there's 2 dead teens inside. He just killed 2 kids. And Laurie says he's not done yet. So then, of course, the police show up just like in the film. And here it does make note that Laurie goes back to her truck and stashes her gun in the glove compartment because they know her. And it says specifically in the state of Illinois, you can't open carry a pistol. So she's afraid that they might, just to get her off the streets and away from everybody, if she's standing with a gun, they could haul her ass in. So she was smart and said, "Let me just put this away so they don't even see it." She knew Hawkins wouldn't rat her out, and he doesn't. So Laurie stayed away from the police, didn't want to give a statement. She wanted to hunt him and kill him, not capture him. So she just left. She just kind of stayed away, stayed on the outskirts of it. Then, of course, Barker pulls up with who? Dr. Sartain. He says, "Look who's awake." Yep. And Laurie recognizes him, and she saw him get on the bus, so she recognized him. Because remember, before the Allison's dinner, and she went to watch Michael get transferred, she recognized him getting on the bus with Michael. So she saw him and knew exactly who he was. Sartain gets out and says, "Where is he?" Hawkins says, "You tell me," just like in the film. Then the neighbors, this would have been cool to see this. I don't think it was ever filmed. So the neighbors come out walking Julian towards the police because he ran next door and they called the police to come over. So they were watching him, and the neighbors tell the police. He kept repeating the same thing over and over again to us. It was the boogeyman. And then Laurie heard him, and she flashed, and her mind flashes back to Tommy Doyle back in 1978, saying it was the boogeyman. Remember, because he kept telling her, "I saw the boogeyman outside," and he kept saying it over and over again. "Is the boogeyman coming? What's the boogeyman?" So she flashes right back to 78, hearing him saying it was the boogeyman. The boogeyman did it. So it took her right back to that. And she sees the Harley tipped over and is curious why it was tipped over. So this was kind of cool. So she's walking around and she sees that the Harley's been dumped and it's laying in the garage. Like, why is it like that? Michael would never get on a motorcycle. So she was thinking maybe he was trying to take the motorcycle to run, because she was wondering why it was on the floor, not knowing that Dave was in there and dropped it like a jackass. But yeah, that wouldn't have been. Could you imagine Michael just cruising on a Harley? No, don't see that. All right. So Sartain tells the story of the escape, just like, he's telling Hawkins and Sheriff Barker, what happened. He overpowered, and he gives a little bit more backstory to it. Saying what happened, because he said, so Barker asked Sartain, "Why didn't Michael kill you? Why did he kill everybody but you?" So Sartain says Michael chained him to a seat. He closed his eyes thinking Michael was going to kill him. When he opened his eyes, Michael was gone. So that's why he was chained to that. So, but we don't know this for sure. He says he changed himself, but we don't know, because maybe Michael didn't kill him or he ran. We'll never know. Conversation takes place with Barker and Hawkins about taking Sartain. The scene in the film where he's like, he's an asset. No, he's a liability. Why am I going to take a man who's just been shot, a civilian, to go chase a homicidal killer? And of course, Barker's like, "Well, if anybody knows Myers, it's him." So Hawkins is obviously against it. Barker tells Hawkins he was wrong. This would have been cool. So Barker actually apologizes to Hawkins in this. Says he was wrong. He's going to go statewide with this, clearing the streets and putting a curfew. Basically saying, "I should have listened to you, Frank, and I didn't. And look what happened. And we got 2 teens killed." So let's see. So Laurie tries to get Barker's attention, but he tells her, "We don't need your help." Then Barker introduces Sartain to Laurie, and says, just like in the film, "Dr. Sartain, meet Laurie Strode," and of course, "Oh, you're the new Loomis." That whole scene plays out. And then, of course, Sartain mentions, Hawkins was there on scene and stopped Dr. Loomis from killing Michael that evening. Laurie explaining Michael is pure evil, and Hawkins says Myers is human. And Laurie tells Hawkins to believe in the boogeyman. So he's not human. You better, if you know what's going to happen tonight, you better believe. So Sartain invites Laurie to go with them. So different than the film. So Sartain says, "Why don't you come with us to help find him?" Because he wants them to get her anyway. So that would have made it easier for him later on. But while I'm sitting here talking about this, one of my co-hosts looks like they just popped in. Hold on. There he is.
There he is. Hello.
Freddie.
Hello. Thank you. I've been listening. Don't worry. Chapter 29. I've been listening. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Happy
45th anniversary.
Yeah, happy 45th anniversary and happy. Yeah, you know what? I wish Dave. You were talking about Dave. Doesn't he go upstairs? You assume, right? Instead, he's killed downstairs. Like this goes for the movie and the book.
No, did you miss that part? Because he goes upstairs to investigate.
Hey Ryan.
Fights.
Hey Byron.
He fights with Myers, and then Myers pushes him down the stairs.
Oh, it gets down. Okay, I did miss that. Okay.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Dave.
Yeah.
You're going to get killed.
So they're fighting it, and then I guess. Yeah, exactly. Dave, you're going to get killed. Send Dave.
And well, even though we're talking the book, but that is Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon's kid, as we know. So.
Yep. And I was talking about how Laurie saw the bike when she was walking around, and she was thinking like, who did this? Michael would never go on a bike. And I'm like, how funny would that be, seeing him cruising on a bike? And Brian's like, he rode the bike with Corey.
It'd be like Michael Myers at Decatur.
The Brett Man cometh. yeah, that guy, exactly, right?
Yeah. Sorry if there's a little lag.
So basically, we're up to the part where, it's slight.
Okay.
We're basically up to the part where Sartain meets Laurie, and in the novelization, Sartain invites Laurie to come with him. Says, "Why don't you come with us to look for him?" And she says, she declines, of course. And then Barker sends 2 police officers with Laurie for safety, just like in the film, which is Christopher Nelson and the other guy who's actually a cop, basically to guard her and her family, just like in the film. And that's how chapter 29 ends. Laurie meets the new Loomis.
Zartane.
Look at that. And chapter 30 is a deleted scene. And you're going to know just by the way what it's called, chapter 30. Chapter 30 is, why is it taking so long? Cameron the drunk gets arrested.
Which they shot, and we see it on the DVD.
So if you guys know this or watch the deleted scene, you see it on the DVD, that's right. It was a cut scene. So
it was a bit silly, right, Pat? It was silly to have in there.
It was, yeah. And actually, there's a little bit more to it, which I don't think they filmed it. So it says here, Matt Evans, who was a friend of theirs at school, pulled Allison's phone out of the nacho cheese and gives it to her. She starts to clean it off, and he asks if she's okay. And then she leaves the school, passing the football field. She tried to clean. She was trying to get all the nacho cheese out to see if it would work on the phone. I guess it was just shit the bed at that point. That's when Cameron shows up, just like that deleted scene, and tells her, to put the phone in rice. And she's like, "What are you, a dipshit? That only works with water. It's not going to fucking work with nacho cheese, you moron." And then he's just like, "No, I'm sorry." And she says, "I leave you alone for like a minute, and you flirt and you break my phone," because he's basically a douchebag. So he blames the booze, of course. So the phone is broke. Cameron is glad. She's like, "My phone is broken." He's like, "I'm glad because you're always on it." And he's like he's an attention whore. He wants all the attention for himself. It's like, what's the big deal if her phone fucking rings? Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't understand why he made such a big deal out of this. It's not a big deal. To be causing all the shit that he caused, I mean, come on. It'd be different if it was like an ex-boyfriend or something, but it's just her family and Vicky.
I'm glad you brought up the character Vicky before.
Let's see. So Cameron, he begs for forgiveness and wants. Oh, I like her. She would have been great if
it's a bummer.
I think she would have been cool. She would have been a good final girl. She had the
good final
girl. Unfortunately,
the character's good. The actress Virginia Gardner's good. Yep.
Yeah, easy on the eyes. She's cute. That always helps. Where did so Allison? So Cameron begs for forgiveness. Allison smart. and here, so he begs for forgiveness and gives her the eye, and so she smiles and almost about to forgive him and like give him a kiss when police pull up with the spotlight on the police car and start shining the light on him. And all you see all this in that cut scene, and so the cops exit the car and approach them. The cops tell them the curfew was put in place. They need to go home, and offers them a ride. He's like, they're being nice. The first thing, look, there's a curfew. Do you have a ride home? We'll take you. And Allison asks, "What's wrong? Why do we have to go home?" And then they, like in the film, the officers become dicks, and the officer says, "Because I fucking said so." Yes, a good cop. The other officer says it's not safe to be out, so he was calm. And Allison says, "We're leaving," and Cameron says, "No, we're not," because he's drunk and he wants to carry this conversation on, thinking it's all going to be smoothed over. Cameron yells at the cops for interrupting their reunion and calls them dicks. Yeah, that's not going to work when you tell a cop they're a bunch of dicks.
Nope.
What do you expect to happen? Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, nope. So they ask Allison if everything's okay because they want to make sure she's okay, and he's, because they could tell he's drunk. And then, who's your smart ass friend? They tell her. She tells the officers they were having a simple argument. Then that's when they recognize Cameron,
Right.
and then they start talking shit about the Elams and making fun of him and the family. And then Cameron tells them to go fuck themselves. Cameron threatens them, and they tell the story of him sitting on his roof throwing all sorts of shit at police officers. So he's a real asshole. And then Cameron says, "I was 12 years old and made you look like a bitch in front of the entire department." Yeah, he just added fuel to the fire. Now you know why it says the drunk gets arrested. And they throw Cameron to the ground, put his hand behind his back, and they handcuff him. And then now all the kids are pulling their phones out because it is the age of cell phones, and they're like ready to film to see what else goes on. Oscar comes over and asks what's going on. Of course, he's drunk and he's acting like a jackass. Then Cameron asks Oscar to get Allison home safely. So that's why Oscar goes off with Allison. And we know what happens there because he's a dick too.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops tell the crowd to go home or you're all going to get arrested because there's a curfew in place. So get the fuck out of Dodge. And I believe
Skedaddle. Get the fuck out of Dodge.
Get the fuck out of Dodge. You know what? Hit the bricks, Dorothy. I already sent one jack off to the emergency room tonight. So Oscar says, "Hold up," goes under the bleachers to take a piss and grab his beer. Unbeknownst to her, that's where he had the rest of his beer, his stash.
His booze. Yeah.
So he's like, my motto, no can left behind. So Allison's wondering what her parents will think if they find out what Cameron did tonight, because she was essentially saying like, no, he's different. He's not like his family. And it turns out he's exactly like his fucking family.
Yeah. He took that line from us.
30 ends. That's where we're leaving it off for this week.
He took that line from us about the beer. About the beer.
Yeah, well, it's true.
That's our line.
Yeah, well, you know how we are. Absolutely. So that's how chapter 30 ends. So next.
No, I was gonna say, imagine if Cameron, they don't have imagine if that scene's in the movie. You got to wonder how the beginning of Kills would start. Be different, right? Because he would have been arrested.
Yeah.
Found
well,
Hawkins.
You know what? What's that? Yeah, that's the whole thing. You got to wonder how that is. That's true. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who the hell would have found Hawkins? I guess that's why they cut it, because they figured out they needed a vehicle for somebody to find Hawkins. Because remember, Hawkins wasn't due to survive, but he was such a beloved character. Everybody liked him in that film, and everybody's like, they realized, remember, because they had so much time to rewrite shit, and too much time to rewrite shit, so they wrote him into it because originally he was supposed to be dead.
Yeah, I think it's the actor playing him. That's a pretty decent name actor playing him, Will Patton, too. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's why he's in all three movies, because they realized, wow, he did so well. Sort of like Brad Dourif did in the zombie movies. He was great as Brackett. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Byron says, seeing James Jude Courtney characters Michael Myers riding a motorcycle would have been hilarious. Yeah, it would have been. Poor Allison, she shouldn't have to deal with nonsense, to deal with people like Cameron and oh yeah, and Doug Mulaney, Mulaney, yeah, eventually. Well, that's it. She just seems to pick the wrong fucking people. Some people just have that luck. Allison should have been arrested alongside Cameron, but Myers took. Yeah, exactly. Michael took care of his ass. What a bad death that was. You can't have Will Patton come in and be a throwaway character. It's true, and they realized
Ryan's
that. Too.
right. Ryan's absolutely
Thankfully.
right. Yeah.
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 Tommy Doyle finding Hawkins. That would have been kind of a nice little.
Tommy Doyle find Hawkins.
Yeah.
I like that, Byron. That could have been cool. That could have been the introduction of Tommy Doyle into the story. That would have been cool. That's really good. I like that.
Lonnie Elam. You could have done a handful of
yeah,
people.
So
yeah.
Yeah, there could have been a few characters that were in kills that could have did it. And that would have been pretty cool. I like that idea of somebody else. Well, and that scene would have been fun, you know, watching him mouth off to the cops and then him. Well, they did film it, but they took it out. They just didn't use it.
Yeah, Cameron's got one of the great.
If they would have filmed it, it would have been great, but they did. They just didn't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the cool arcs in the trilogy. Is he started out as a dick, and his arc made him become a good guy because he redeemed himself. So I say, look, I'm sorry, I fucked up, and he was more concerned with protecting her and protecting everybody else. You know, he did the right thing by finding the cop and making sure he was there for Hawkins. So his arc did change, and then, man, did he get his ass handed to him by Myers? Oh man,
yeah.
That was one of the more infamous deaths in the franchise.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah,
pretty
he
bad.
really fucked his ass up. I'm telling you, and of all places, got killed in the Myers house. So you figure, all right. So let's go back. All right, so yeah, because if this is a direct sequel to one, and you're forgoing all the other ones, he would be. Well, at this point, he would only be the second person to die in the Myers house until you see kills and you see the flashback scene and find out that Hawkins shot that police officer there and they covered it up. So technically, there would have been 3 people killed in the Myers house and only 2 of them by Myers.
Yeah.
If you do the simple reasoning and deduction. What are they playing, a game back there?
Ooh, Colton's playing a game, yeah. He can't hear. He hears me talking about him.
He's photobombing.
He had a rough day.
Hey, what's up, gang?
He had a rough day at dodgeball today. He did a killing today.
I love dodgeball. So they actually let them play dodgeball these days. I figured nowadays, with the way everything is, they don't let them hit anything anymore. Or is it a different way of playing it now?
I don't think there's a different way of playing it. No, not at all. I think you got to use the softer balls. I think when you and I were playing, it was more like the 4-square type balls.
We did have the softer balls.
Yeah, you used the softer
ones.
Yeah,
it was like a soccer ball.
Yeah, they used a couple different versions. Like there's the parent kids dodgeball night coming up at the school, so that's always interesting.
Oh, that would be fun, man. I love dodgeball. I play that. Dodgeball and volleyball. I always had so much fun with. Lots of fun.
I will film that because when we go to that, it'll be fun.
Oh yeah, get some footage. I want to see that.
Actually,
I'll get some footage tonight because yeah, go ahead. For those that don't know, Brett's wife is a black belt. Yeah, that's going to go over like a fart in church. She'll kick his ass.
And then my son just started laughing when he heard me say that. You think I can do it, right?
Like, yeah, Dad, keep dreaming.
Yeah, but I know you won't.
Dad's too smart for that. He's not stupid.
He gets mad when I get him out. You know what's funny? You know how that game goes, and it probably happened when you were a kid too, Pat. Like you try to catch the ball. Oh, I didn't get hit. No, or like you didn't catch that. No, nobody gets out. You know, everybody cheats. Nobody's monitoring the game.
Yeah, everybody cheated. Yeah, that was the fun of it. Just seeing Hawkins and Tommy Doyle talking to each other would have been great, especially from an acting. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, because you figure you would see Will Patton and Anthony Michael Hall. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I guess when he came in to see Lori, he wasn't in their
Two
room.
veteran
yet, I
character
guess.
actors.
He was still in surgery or wherever the hell he was at. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't there yet. That's true. Yeah, he hadn't been wheeled in yet.
You imagine if you
Yep,
didn't have
absolutely.
a scene.
So I
with
was saying I'll
Tommy
get
and
some footage
Lori?
tonight because after this,
Oh. That would suck, is what I'm saying. If they didn't
yeah,
do that, you had to have that. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you probably would have
I
had
mean-
a lot of people upset, right? They had to have at least one scene with those two characters.
yeah, you had to have some type of reunion between the two of them. Yeah. No, so I agree with what they did. Aside from that, the rest of the hospital, blue chunks, pretty much. But no, tonight we're watching Halloween in the backyard tonight, celebrating the 45th.
You're kidding? Neighbors and everything? Yeah, or family?
Yeah, Mike's gonna come over. That's just Mike. Gonna sit outside, watch the movie, have a beer, have a cigar, and celebrate 45 years.
I'm going with the brother on Friday night at 9:45 at the theater about a mile and a half away from me. We got 2 seats. There was 2 seats luckily still available. So we're going to go check it out on the big screen here like we do every year. We usually go every year once.
I missed it this year. There was a place showing it not far from here, actually in Stroudsburg, where I'm going tomorrow night to see The Damned. And it was this past weekend, and I think they're showing it again this weekend, but I have no time this weekend to go. It kind of sucks. Actually, maybe Saturday night, because Friday night we're playing the Halloween party, but maybe Saturday night I can go.
We got 2 theaters in the city playing it in 35 millimeter, but the tickets were gone for the 35 millimeter, so I'll have to look for that next year.
Yeah, they used to show right in my town at the Milford Theater, but then the Milford Theater was sold, and now they have like acts play there, like bands. Like I said, that's where I saw the Bacon Brothers. They book bands now. They don't, to my knowledge, they don't do movies anymore. But I said I would go down there. It was great. It was 10 minutes away. They did it every year. It was awesome. And then now they just book bands. Bastards.
Yeah, this is the first time, Pat. There was 2 bars in the city and then 1 brewery in the suburbs here this week that are doing Halloween series trivia. Just hard to do it with family obligations right now. I'd be all for going to do that.
Did you see my phone's charging over there. Did you see the Halloween mobile game?
That's why I got delayed at my kids' practice. I got stuck playing it on level 8.
I did it. I downloaded it and played a little bit of it before, but I haven't had a chance. I'll play a little bit more while I'm watching the movie. But yeah, I downloaded it. It was pretty cool.
You got my
fun,
wife
plays
that. My wife plays that Candy Crush game all the time, so it's very similar to that. She's like, "Oh, you got to learn the little tricks here, what to do."
Yeah. Yeah, I don't play Candy Crush, but yeah, I heard people were saying it's like along the lines of that. I'm like, so I fooled around with it a little bit before, but I'll play around with it again later. But it's pretty cool. It's nice.
The best is it's free.
Good graphics.
It's free.
And it's free. Yeah. Wow, a Halloween thing for free. You don't see those that often. It's like, give me the money, 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 give me the money.
I had to check.
Yep,
it's like, really?
absolutely.
Free?
Okay. What's the catch? Oh, downloading it's free, but to play it you have to pay. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But that's tonight's book club tonight. Yeah, we're just gonna try to keep it to an hour, and we just hit an hour. This way I can get everything set up outside and go watch the film and hang out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome.
Are you doing it? Are you watching it tonight for the anniversary?
I probably should. I
it?
might turn on the last audio commentary track that was recorded because I had a lot of fun with that one. Because Carpenter's making fun of Jamie Lee being scared and stuff, so it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh, I should do that. I should just put the commentary on tonight. Well, Mike's watching me. He probably doesn't want to hear it. I'm sure I'll watch it again before then. I mean, let's face it. Sure. So we should be good. So I said, obviously, I sent it to you guys.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm impressed with the ticket sales though for the screenings. Most theaters have it here for 3 to 4 days, and a lot of the theaters are mostly at least 75% full each showing. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah, yeah. Even like the theater I was telling you, that's near where I'm going tomorrow. When I looked for tickets on Saturday, they had very little seating left, and that was like a week before it. And then I knew I wasn't going to be able to go Saturday, so I'm sure it's sold out. But I'm going to go actually look on it tonight and see if how I can get down there, and maybe grab the wife one night. We'll go down and have dinner because she's come when I go see it in the theater. She'll come with me. She'll hang out.
Nice. Well, we should go. Let you get to your thing, and then we could catch up a little bit later.
Yeah, so chapters 31 through 40 will be in 2 weeks. Okay, do our quick shameless plugs. I'll bring everything up. So, just as Byron asked, 2 weeks, chapter 4, 31 through 40. So, we'll be finishing 2 weeks from tonight. Oh, we lost Brett. Maybe he just popped out. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll be starting that Halloween Kills movie book club. So, there you go. So, start reading it now if you want to brush up on it. I do the Audible. It's on Audible. They're all on Audible. So that's the easy way to do it. Bring you back. We lost you there for a second.
Yeah, we're not as just maybe we're not having a lag this time.
Yeah, now there's no lag. It's good. So I was telling everybody 2 weeks we'll be starting chapter 4, episode 4. We'll finish the novel. And then 2 weeks after that, we go to Halloween Kills. So and we'll have to grin and bear it through the hospital stuff. Ugh. But we'll muddle our way through. Most of it is good. Make sure you catch us every Sunday night live. What's that?
I wanted to ask you something because this could be a topic, but this will be a quick answer. I'm curious, out of these 3 covers or posters, whatever, for these 3 new movies in the trilogy, what's your favorite one? I'm going to say I like Kills the best because I like the orange and the fire a little bit. I don't know what your thoughts
I think Kills is the one I like the best, and the one that pisses me off the most is Ends, because
it should be flipped,
he's facing
like
the same direction.
Should be centered.
They should have did it. They actually, in theory, Kills should have been him looking forward, and should have been looking the other direction. So when you put the 3 posters up, they all look in the middle.
Yeah.
Now that would have been great. I don't know why they didn't think that, but
yeah,
that's
Ryan,
just me being
yeah.
symmetrical. That my wife will tell you I'm crazy when it comes to symmetrics.
I totally agree with
Kills,
that. It just seems to look the best. That really sticks out, at least getting that poster autograph with the orange marker because it's all orange and everything too. So I think that's part of where I come from on that one. Yeah, Byron's right. I think Ends is the least.
Yeah. Truth be told, the only poster I have hanging on my wall from the trilogy is Halloween Kills. That's the one I have hanging up.
And to be honest with you, Byron saying that, the Ends poster with Laurie and him on there together, like the full shot of them both, I think that's a real nice poster. I actually like that.
Yeah, and that therein lies the same thing. If Kills was facing in, you could have the 2 of them in the middle. Now that would have been cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Let's go, people. Come on, why don't they consult us about this shit? Yeah. No, it's true. They should.
Well, you and I are brothers.
What the fuck is wrong with them? We're the ones that buy this shit.
We're brothers from another mother. We've talked about that. We all have similar, if not identical, tastes.
He just looks so menacing. He's burned and pissed. Yeah, because he's fucking pissed. He's like, sons of bitches trapped me, tried to burn my ass. Fuck them. I'll fuck them up. And bag ass overalls.
Kills is going up on rankings more than ever now too. It seems Kills has worked up a few places now. I don't know, but
what kills me about Kills, not to be redundant, is I do like everything but that hospital stuff. I think if they had put something else in its place and limited the hospital, that would probably be my favorite in the trilogy, because I do like the flashback scene. I like all the stuff in the Myers house. I love all that stuff. It's just the hospital just fucking shits on it and kills it for me. Yeah, that probably would be my favorite one in the trilogy.
Remember when Chris Nelson, I think it was Chris talking with Sean, about how the majority of that second film was supposed to be in '78, but it was for budget reasons. I'm like, for budget reasons? I'm sitting there, I'm like, it probably would have been more expensive, but seriously, that would have really been a make or break? I don't know. I see a lot of period piece movies is my point, right? You see a lot of movies take place in decades ago.
So the funny thing is,
never hear
because they're not making these movies for the fans; they're making it for money. Because I would have been in that budget meeting and been like, "Oh, well, it's out of the budget, really?" Because the last budget was like what, $15-20 million. You made $250 million, and you can't fucking stretch the budget, you cheap fucks. Yeah,
Who
you don't want me in those
shit?
meetings.
Call the cops. I love that scene with the character, the cemetery. Oh yeah, have a little bit of a
between
full
Michael
fight
and
scene.
Little John in the Myers house. Yeah, instead of him just going Michael and then submitting, stabbed the funeral dude again and again and again. I think he was just so pissed he got burned.
You know what we need?
He started stabbing that dude. Oh yeah, that guy. I get the.
We need to have Myers have like a
What's
they
that?
live type fight. We need to have Myers have like a they live type of fight with, I don't know, with another super strong dude, or maybe with a bear like Leo DiCaprio did. I don't know. It'd be fun.
Get John Kirby from Silent Rage.
Oh damn! We're gonna have to watch that movie soon, Pat.
Can you imagine? Yeah, that's gonna have to be a watch along. That's gonna have to be a watch along. I love that film. I love that film.
Yeah, Byron. Yeah, that's a great track, man. That.
Right. So we'll go through this real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. We keep on talking. My bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Shape Hunts Allison is the best. Is the best one. No, I'll go through this and then we can still chat. I'm not in any rush. I'll go through this shit since it's up. So make sure you guys check us out Sunday nights live for that horror movie podcast with my buddy right here, and Joe, who's not here. He couldn't make it. He was some shit came up. So we're live every Sunday at 8 Eastern and every Tuesday 8 Eastern for a watch along. Make sure you can listen to us streaming. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Helps the channel grow. Makes more people. I'm trying to get the Facebook group to grow. So anybody out there that hasn't joined the Facebook group, just look it up and join, and post in there too. I tell people, I'm like, we don't have to be the only ones. You guys post anything horror related in there, go right ahead. I just released this last night. I was reminiscing on my 43-year history with Halloween. So you can check that video out because Halloween did turn 45. 45 years today. Make sure you join the 1031 subscribers giveaway because you could win the not so exclusive Halloween 3 figure. So make sure you subscribe and I'll enter your name. Check out Resurrection. That just landed today. My and it's funny. I try to find the funniest faces to make just so I can hear Brett laugh. So check out the What If for Halloween Resurrection. And I know I got a lot of comments like, what if the movie didn't suck? What if it wasn't a pile of
What if the movie didn't happen?
That's neither here nor there. that would have been my number 11.
Yeah,
exactly. And then make sure you guys join us on Halloween night this coming Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. We'll be doing our annual watch along of the original Halloween. We'll be joined by our buddy, the beautiful Colorado, who we met out at H45. She's going to sit in with us and watch it with us. I should be getting the Halloween board game. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow, so we're going to try to play it during the film. We're showing collectibles.
You're late.
Yes.
You're late.
I thought I would have had it today, but I've checked the tracking this afternoon, and it said it's supposed to come tomorrow. I don't know what's taking so long. I ordered 2. Did you order 1 or 2? I think since I ordered 2, they must have sent everybody out the 1 and then waited on my 2 because it's been taking forever.
Oh, look at this!
We
got some other people in the chat. Another person in the chat.
So what do we got? Oh, look at that! We got Mr. Blake. What is going on? You don't have Facebook? That's all right. Actually, well, you're already subscribed. I was gonna say, you guys are good. I took all the supporters that I know that are always in our chat and just threw them in the mix to win the figure. So don't worry about it. I know who all the people are that support. So
it is chilly. God, Blake, you can't do that.
Brian's man. banned another 12 days from interacting with groups. Oh God, Ryan, what the hell did you do?
Dude, you should be joined by like
was
your
by
accomplishments
Lola,
with your
Lola from the Loved
program.
Ones versus Allison, and a They Live type.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
really.
see that. I see that,
What if
Byron.
Halloween was
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the sequels
Yeah.
after Resurrection
why
were
do you
Smith's Groves. Yeah.
have a jacket on inside? He's got to save the heat. He doesn't want to use the heat. He's got to save the money
Should
so
I
he can buy
put
more
that?
shit.
I should be wearing that. That's right. I should be keeping that on.
Look at Ryan. I misbehave on Facebook. What the hell are you doing on Facebook that's getting you banned? It's one thing I could say. I think they tried to ban me once or twice for like sharing something, and I fought it. That was about it. But other than that, no. I've been okay. I haven't gotten in any trouble.
Who was
Give it
it
time.
at H? It was when I was talking to our friend Gabriel GK on at age 45. He's like, I've been banned on many things that related to Facebook. I was like, sorry about that.
Oh, Gabriel. Yeah. Well, to his credit, he's got some views and his opinions, and he likes to state them. And that's not.
I'm glad we got to see him and talk to
if
him
you
in
wanna
person and hang with him for a little bit.
express
So it was
your
good.
views and just be prepared for the consequences. Yeah, but it was good meeting him in person. Super nice guy. It's nice to meet him. Let's see. I might have shared a meme in a trans group about the alphabet people that wasn't socially acceptable. What the hell are the alphabet people? Did I miss something? Yeah, Brett must know what it is. I don't know. I mean, I can see it's obviously something in a trans group that's not good, but I don't know. That's not what I know. What if you got a chase scene with Karen and Michael in Halloween Kills, but in a pumpkin patch? They could have ran right past Linus, waiting for the Great Pumpkin. Could you imagine?
Oh, right. Oh man, I gotta check.
Could you imagine? LGBTQ. Oh God, yeah. Don't even get me started on that. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I never understood all that. All those labels is too many. But yeah, so we're gonna head out. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go watch Halloween on the big screen in my backyard. So
yeah, the major shooting in Maine.
Are you gonna be around later?
Yeah, probably. Have to read this here after we get off.
Maine. What news?
Yeah, 16 people killed. Gonna have to read about this after.
All right. Oh God, what a.
Sorry, don't mean to be on a downward here.
We
should.
We'll say.
Yeah. Good hanging out with you, Ryan.
Yeah, we'll get
Byron.
off right here, and then we'll tell everybody. Hang out 1 second, Brett, and I'll say goodbye to you. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks for the book club to finish out the novelization. Everybody enjoy the 45th anniversary of Halloween tonight. You should be watching it. I am. Why aren't you? So go do it.
Me too.
Go do it. Can't tell them. Do it now.
Come on. Get in.
There you go. Good night, everybody.